Hello and welcome back to Lord Gizmo. In today's episode, we will explore our top 5 most viewed harvesting process videos of the year. But before that, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more related content. So, without further ado, let's begin.
Peanuts, contrary to popular belief, aren't nuts but are legumes that grow underground. For this reason, the field is cleared first of all. It involves removing precious crop residues, weeds, stones, and other debris. Maintaining cleaned fields results in a better pegging process later. To make sure of this, farmers often conduct some soil tests. These tests help determine the soil's pH level, nutrient content, and any deficiencies. For peanuts, soil with slightly acidic to neutral pH levels are considered preferable. Before sowing peanuts, the soil is loosened by tilling to ensure it is well aerated and free of big clumps. Rows are formed in the field using a hoe or other equipment. Depending on the kind and equipment utilized, the row-to-row gap is usually from 24 to 36 inches. Peanut seeds are sown 1 to 1.5 inches deep. This depth is critical because it ensures the seeds get enough soil while preventing them from being buried too deeply. Seeds are placed approximately 2 to 4 inches apart inside the rows. Proper spacing ensures that each plant has adequate space to thrive without competing for nutrients with surrounding plants. The Maximerge 5 is an advanced planter from John Deere that, with its cutting-edge sensors and state-of-the-art sowing system, can do everything from tilling to sowing in one go. In peanut cultivation, watering plays a crucial role. Proper irrigation ensures good germination growth and ultimately a healthy yield. After planting, maintaining soil moisture facilitates good seed germination. Peanuts typically require about 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week during this phase, either from rainfall or supplemental irrigation. Consistent hydration is essential while the peanut plants develop and build their root systems. The plants grow their leaves and begin to blossom at this stage. Knowing when to harvest peanuts is crucial for ensuring the best yield and quality. Different varieties may have varying growth durations. For instance, some varieties mature in 120 days while others could take up to 150 days or more. One of the most reliable indicators of peanut maturity is the color of the inner sides of the shells. The initial step in harvesting peanuts involves uprooting the peanut plants to expose the peanut pods. A peanut combine typically has blades or shakers that go beneath the soil surface, gently lifting the plants and shaking off the excess soil. This process brings the peanuts to the surface while still attached to the plants. Once the plants are uprooted, they are inverted, meaning they're turned upside down. This allows the peanuts to dry naturally in the sun for several days. The drying process reduces the moisture content of the peanuts, making them less prone to fungal infections and improving their shelf life. After the drying phase, the combine moves on to the threshing process. Here, the machine separates the peanuts from the vines. Rotating drums or shakers inside the combine facilitate this separation. The separated peanuts are then collected in a hopper or storage compartment within the combine. The leftover plant vines and leaves are often expelled back onto the fields where they can decompose and enrich the soil. Some modern peanut combines are equipped with cleaning systems that further clean the harvested peanuts by removing any remaining soil, stones, or other debris. Once full, the combine transfers the peanuts, often through an auger system, directly into the truck. Covering them with the tarps, They're then safely transported, minimizing exposure to elements or pests and streamlining their post-harvest process. A peanut drop-off facility is essentially a location where farmers deliver their harvested peanuts for further processing, storage, or sale. These facilities play a vital role in the post-harvest phase of peanut production. Upon arrival, the peanuts are weighed to determine the total quantity. Then, the peanuts are dried down to a moisture content of about 10% or lower before being stored. This can be done using natural sun drying or with forced air in specialized drying facilities. Once peanuts reach the appropriate moisture content, they can then be stored for extended periods without significant quality loss. Official inspectors inspect peanuts when they arrive at the buying station. They look at the peanut's quality, including how much good meat there is, size, moisture, any damage, and if there's any unwanted stuff mixed in. This inspection determines how valuable the peanuts are. Then, in peanut processing factories, the journey of peanuts begins with a thorough cleaning to get rid of any dirt, rocks, or other leftover bits. Next, the peanuts are fed into a rotating drum or cylinder equipped with slotted walls. As the drum rotates, the peanuts rub against each other and the drum's walls. This friction causes the shells to crack open. The peanuts and their cracked shells then pass over screens or through air columns, where the lighter shells separate from the heavier kernels. A peanut gravity separator is used to sort peanuts based on their densities. Through vibration and upward airflow, peanuts are stratified on the machine's deck, with heavier, high-quality kernels rising to the top and lighter, damaged, or foreign materials settling to the bottom. And now, we move on to the next crucial step in the peanut processing journey: blanching. This particular stage is responsible for the removal of the red skin that envelops the peanuts. In this fascinating process, hot water or steam is employed to delicately warm the outer skin, allowing for the effortless removal of its protective shell. Following the completion of this particular treatment, a remarkable transformation occurs within the skins, rendering them loose and effortlessly detachable from the kernels. Once peanuts are carefully blanched, they undergo a process known as roasting. This process enhances the peanut's aroma, taste, and texture by exposing them to controlled heat. When the roasted peanuts are ready, they are finely ground to create a popular spread known as peanut butter. Like every final phase of production, the peanut product, such as whole peanuts or peanut butter, is carefully packaged. It is ensured that the product is stored and transported in appropriate containers. These containers can include jars, cans, pouches, etc. During the processing of peanut products, strict quality control measures are put in place to guarantee the safety and quality of the products.
Let's embark on a journey to the heart of lush tropical landscapes, where the rhythmic swaying of palm trees and the gentle rustle of leaves create a symphony of nature's beauty. Although we have machines for every task, many coconut producers and harvesters use old, conventional climbing methods owing to their proven effectiveness and economic benefits. Some workers tie rope around the thick tree trunk, while others make small cuts to climb over. The traditional way to collect and harvest coconuts is to poke them with a nail on a stick and put them in the back basket. They use a combination of machetes and dehusking devices to remove the fibrous husk from coconuts. The process of coconut harvesting requires meticulous scheduling to achieve ideal maturity.
It maintains the desirable taste and nutritional attributes. Coconuts are primarily grown in tropical locations, such as Indonesia, the Philippines, India, and Sri Lanka. The growth of coconut trees thrives in these nations due to their favorable circumstances, with Indonesia emerging as the primary producer. Because these are predominantly coastal regions, maritime transportation is a prevalent and practical mode of transport. Only Indonesia transports millions of coconuts through water channels. Some factories have a special port to collect coconuts directly from the boats. The process of selecting coconuts involves careful consideration of factors such as size, weight, and freshness to achieve the highest level of quality for further processing. First, the rigid outer shell is separated from the inner kernel to obtain the inner white meat of the coconut for different products. Modern factories provide deshelling machines to their workers, while traditionally this work is done by hand. They use some specific knives for peeling the coconuts. Older methods are often employed in traditional coconut-producing localities, namely within rural sections of Southeast Asia as well as specific parts of Africa and the Caribbean. Next, the coconut meat is finely grated and completely dried to make coconut oil. The drying process decreases the moisture content, and the resultant product contains a significant amount of oil, up to 70% of its weight. Coconuts possess the highest oil content among all oil seeds. The dried coconut is subsequently pressed to extract the oil, which then goes through a filtration process to eliminate any impurities. The oil that's been extracted is then subjected to a settling process to separate any remaining solids. If desired, the oil can be further refined to remove any additional impurities and unwanted flavors. Coconut oil is not only utilized for culinary purposes, but it also boasts a plethora of applications in the realms of skincare and hair care, and even serves as a natural substitute for traditional household cleaning products. Coconut milk is made by soaking shredded coconut in boiling water and then straining off the solid pulp. The levels of fat and oil in the end product can be controlled by modifying the quantity of water added to the flakes throughout the extraction process. The production of coconut powder involves the process of grating or shredding fresh coconuts to extract the meat. The coconut meat is then dried using various techniques. For instance, its exposure to sunlight dries it. Some use a specialized device known as a food dehydrator. After the dehydration phase, the coconut meat undergoes a thorough grinding procedure using a food processor, resulting in a finely powdered substance. Coconut powder exhibits versatility in its use within the culinary domain, finding utility in a range of gastronomic endeavors such as culinary preparations and smoothie making. In addition to the coconut's white flesh, the outermost layer of hairy fibrous material known as cure is also used for making various products, such as ropes and mats. Stripping, shredding, and screening are just a few of the numerous processes used to extract cure. After obtaining cure, it's discarded using a carding machine. Then, various spinning wheels and tools turn it into yarn. Expert workers weave the produced yarn to make various patterns, sizes, and shapes of mats. They use a technique device known as a loom. It functions as a frame to hold the weft threads, making mat wavering easy. Cure is a waste product of notice ecologically benign and reusable. It presents no biohazard or disposable concerns. Similar to coconut cure, the leftover husk chips are not discarded as waste. Instead, husk chips are reduced to powder size by chopping, grinding, and crushing. After that, they add significant water to make it a fluffy solution and leave it to dry for days. The dried material is called cocoa peat. After blending cocoa peat and husk chips in the required proportion, the resultant material is compressed to transform the mixed material into cocoa peat blocks. These peat blocks provide higher air porosity for plants and help them grow faster. Besides blocks, cocoa peat can be transformed into various shapes, such as rectangular bricks, round pallets, and long slabs. Cocoa peat grow slabs are quite popular among tomato, cucumber, pepper, herb, and cannabis growers. Multiple tests are conducted during the production of these slabs to ensure they possess the appropriate bulk density, porosity, and water-holding capacity, and expansion volume. The grow slabs come wrapped in a plastic or biodegradable film that protects it from moisture loss and fungal growth. These are shipped to the growers who rehydrate them with water before use. The grow slabs are suitable for cultivating on tabletops in glass houses, hydroponic greenhouses, and polytunnel growing systems.
Over 4.5 billion pounds of French fries are consumed annually in America alone. They are a favorite midday snack, side dish, and wine companion. You can eat them as a side dish, lunchtime snack, a late-night wine session, or snack. These exquisite fries, with their crispy and golden perfection, are a delight to both prepare and taste. Frying them is a mere step in their journey. If we rewind, you will see that they went through many processes, and these fries were actually potatoes planted by someone. So let's start with that. But before, don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button for more videos like these. The process starts with preparing the soil. Although it can be done manually, this process is assisted by efficient and state-of-the-art machinery, like this 12-row folding potato cultivator. Machines like these are intended to prepare the seed beds and break up soil in farming operations. With its set of heavy-duty tines that are designed to rotate at high speeds, they are able to create deep furrows and mix subsoil with surface material in no time. The goal of this process is to help prepare the soil and make sure that it can sustain the growth of the potatoes. It also assists in aeration of the soil, which results in improved water retention, factors that are highly needed for the healthy growth of potatoes. After that, the farmers will proceed to planting the potatoes. Similar to soil preparation, machines that can handle multiple rows at a time are also highly needed in this step. These machines help farmers in the task involving furrow opening, seed metering, seed placement at proper depth, and the formation of ridges to cover seed tubers. High-quality machinery is used at this step to make sure that they grow healthily. Through these planters, farmers are also able to maximize their yield while still maintaining proper spacing between plants within each row, hence addressing the problem of spacing within farms. Potatoes need to have enough available soil water to achieve their highest yield and quality. Once there are inconsistencies in the water level that they receive, certain defects like malformations or scabs appear. This is a serious problem. To ease the lives of potato growers, Valmont Industries has designed a unique center pivot irrigation system, the Pivot 101. This system consists of a pump station that captures water from the source, such as a river, well, or reservoir, and transports the water via pipes to the central tower or pivot point. Subsequently, the water flows through the span structure and gets dispersed to the sprinkler. These sprinklers are designed to provide water droplets of optimal size, thereby enhancing the absorption of water into the soil. It is worth noting that the center pivot operates automatically. The center pivot is powered by electric motors that are lightweight and efficient. These motors are designed specifically for wheel operation, enabling the irrigation system to easily navigate challenging terrain. The sprinkler center pivot is automatically adjusted by an electric motor with a fraction of a horsepower to match the specific dimensions and topography of each field. This ensures accurate water application based on soil types and topography, which increases production. The benefits of center pivot irrigation include higher yields, protection against drought, lower production cost, improved efficiency, and wider scale. Compared to conventional irrigation, it uses 25 to 50% less water and offers more accuracy. Using center pivots, farmers may water several crops at once and apply pesticides and fertilizer. Thanks to technological advancement, growers can now remotely regulate irrigation from a PC, tablet, or smartphone, or from a control panel located at the pivot point. In about 80 to 100 days, a potato will get into a matured stage where it is ready to be harvested. For farmers, harvesting potatoes is a crucial procedure since it allows them to gather and store their harvest for use all year long. Typically, potatoes are picked when they are completely grown, the largest and driest they can be. However, in large-scale scenarios, machines like the ROPA Kyler 2 are used for harvesting. With a 7.5-ton bunker and a completely hydraulic drive for maximum cleaning, the ROPA Kyler 2 is a trailed potato harvester, perfect for large-scale harvesting. With the help of a blade, potatoes are lifted from the bed and placed onto webs for sieving. The potatoes are then moved to a picking table and separation unit. Afterwards, the potatoes are moved to a trailer or potato box by a side elevator. Fuel consumption and tractor engine speed are decreased since the Kyler 2 runs independently of the PTO speed, keeping all cleaning units within the ideal speed range. Additionally, the harvester's entirely hydraulic drive minimizes noise and vibration. This machine helps harvest batches upon batches of potatoes in a very efficient way. Once the potatoes are harvested, they will be moved to a transporter so that farmers can set them aside first. A harvester can only hold so many potatoes at once, so it is extremely helpful that this potato crop cart is there to handle up to 35 tons of load. The crop cart is designed exclusively for handling crops on the field, such as collecting harvest from a harvester or filling a planter immediately on the field. Stronga trailers, on the other hand, convey the produce from fields to potato factories. When it arrives to the facility, the driver initiates the hydraulic system, which enables the trailer to tip for unloading. Fresh potatoes go down immediately into the feeding bunker. Of course, the whole process does not start without making sure that everything is clean. Potatoes are root crops, so it is natural that they may have debris of soil left on their surface. This is done to make sure that it is hygienic and no contaminants can get into the potatoes. It is not a smart move to do all of this manually. Well, if it only involves a few potatoes, you can definitely do that. However, if the facility needs to process tons of potatoes, it is more efficient to employ machines and couple it with manual labor. First of all, this machine pre-washes the potatoes to remove dirt, stones, and foreign objects. To prevent unwanted things from entering the machinery, it has a water-filled hopper that holds the potatoes and employs suction to separate them. This is the whole process of washing and destoning. Most of the time, potato peeling is done through the use of steam peeling machines. This is used when all of the peel needs to be removed. This means that batches of potatoes are exposed to steam, usually through a rotating pressure vessel. This is what makes the skin of the potatoes loosen up, resulting in an easier time peeling. The water underneath the potato skin is heated by the high-pressure steam. When the vessel's pressure is then released, the water quickly expands and separates the potato's peel from its meat. Once the skin is softer or looser, the potatoes will be placed in a series of rollers that will gently peel off their skin. Another way to go about this is through batch peeling. This small batch peeler provides high potato yields and superior peeling control. It can be used with 2 or more batch peelers to minimize peel loss and cleaning needs. With a configurable batch size and dwell time, along with an enclosed chamber, it provides consistent control over peeling. French fries, potato chips, and root vegetables like beets are excellent uses. It's simple to modify the abrasive surfaces to meet the needs of the product. There are also other processing facilities that make use of abrasive potato peelers. Although there can be different types of abrasive potato peelers, they have similar mechanisms behind them. First, the cleaned potatoes will be put into a bed of rotating abrasive rolls. These rolls have rough surfaces that rub against the skin of the potatoes. The potatoes will be in a tumbling motion in the bed, which causes them to rub against each other. These are 2 things that do the peeling. After that, operators will run down water from the bed to flush out the peel waste. After peeling, the potatoes are checked and examined again. Examining potatoes multiple times is essential for food processing facilities. They do it for various reasons, but mainly to ensure product safety and cleanliness. Potatoes are important for human consumption. They must ensure that peeled potatoes meet quality standards and are suitable for specific uses, while also monitoring for any issues or defects. They do this through machines like the roller inspector. With grip profile rollers adjusted to robust plastic drive chains, the roller inspection table, RLT, is a transport system. By rotating the potatoes, these rollers provide a visual examination. The potato that has been processed is delivered to the table for inspection. Another machine capable of doing this is the spiral roller grater. It has spiral-shaped, grooved plastic rollers that get wider and deeper as they go near the end. Between every roller, the grooves create square apertures that get bigger. Transporting the product via an in-feed hopper featuring V-channels guarantees uniform dispersion across the grater's breadth. Until the holes are big enough for the potato to fall through, the product is transported through the grooves. The separating plates under the machine are adjusted to set the grading. Once they have made sure that the potatoes are all of high quality and safe for consumption, the next step of the process begins. The potatoes will now be sent to the area where the cutting is done. If we are talking about tons of potatoes, it is obvious that manual cutting is already out of the question. Good thing we now have innovations and machines that can do that. Now, with industrial potato cutters, food processing companies can chop potatoes into many pieces. The machine has a frequency drive system and a vibration chute for ideal filling. Potatoes are carried to the cutting portion, where 2 goods are sliced at the same time once they are positioned in the center of the knife. It is possible to have various knives on the left and right blocks, which enables halving on one track while creating 4 or 8 segments on the other 2. It is important to keep in mind that fresh water is needed throughout the process. This makes sure that the bearing brushes are lubricated and the starch is rinsed away. This machine can handle up to 15,000 kilograms an hour. After they are washed and cut into half for easier processing, they will be measured by weight. Once they have been measured by weight and divided by batch, the actual process of making fries will begin. Here are the steps. French fries are usually long and thin slices of potatoes. They need to be cut into smaller pieces, For this purpose, a water knife cutting machine is used. It makes sure that all the pieces of French fries are cut in the same way and have relatively the same shape too. This is to maintain the quality of the fries. Since the potatoes have been subjected to a lot of water, it is now time to drain them away. Along with this process is the process of silver removal. Aside from keeping the potatoes clean and making sure that unwanted particles are removed, it also helps to make the whole process safer. Potatoes are very well known for their starch content. Although this is good to some extent, not removing it will affect the whole batch of French fries. This is why food processing facilities that deal with French fries always make sure to remove the starch from the potato. To get rid of any loose starch that might have gathered on the surface, they rinse it with plain water. Loose starch needs to be eliminated since it ruins frying oil and causes black smears on the chips. In order to get the desired quality and visual characteristics of fries, it is necessary to subject them to the bleaching procedure. This process is done through this machine. Just like when we talked about a while ago, potatoes are pretty sensitive. They can change color and get damaged in just a few minutes. If not properly prepared, they can even get damaged while cooking. To help maintain its color, texture, and taste, the potato fry has to go through a process called blanching first. This is the process where the potatoes are briefly immersed in hot water or steam to partially cook them. This helps it to soften up and also removes the excess starch in the potatoes. These machines are built to assist in the continuous blanching of potato slices. These machines have mastered how to inhibit enzyme activity to retain the natural color of the potato slices. It is also vital that the proper time or duration for blanching is followed. This is why the addition of controllers and indicators in the machine that adjust the conveying speed through the frequency control is beneficial. Not to mention that this can also be heated either by steam, electricity, or gas. Operators can also adjust the temperature of the water using this machine, but it is usually set to 95 degrees for blanching chips and should be 80 millimeters higher than the mesh belt. After the blanching process, the potatoes are then set aside to dry for a while. This is important so that the unwanted water content is flushed out and does not affect the frying process. Hot air is passed over the fries to start evaporating the surface moisture. Once the process of blanching is done, the batches of potatoes are given some time to rest first. Then the frying stage starts. Usually, if it is just a small batch of fries, you only need a pot to do this. Then the pot is loaded with oil and heated to a temperature of 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Once that is reached, a small amount of fries is added to the oil. This needs to be fried for about a couple of minutes, usually not longer than 4 minutes. One indicator that tells you that it is already cooked is when it already turns golden brown. Once that happens, it is important to take the fries and place it on a paper towel-lined plate first. This is done to drain excess oil so you don't end up with super oily fries. Of course, just like the other steps, the process of frying is slightly different in a food processing facility, since we are now talking about tons of fries. They also use machines to do this. To set the flavor and the temperature of the fries, they will now be left to cool for a while. This is important because the following procedures cannot be done when it is steaming hot. They need to be cooled down first. Now, you may be wondering, we've just fried the French fries, and now we are going to freeze them again? Will it not undo the whole thing? Well, there is a reason for this. When you fry a potato, it is more prone to spoiling. Since we are talking about fries that are meant to be sold on the market, they have to have a longer lifespan than that, right? This is done by freezing the hot fries. Through this process of freezing, the fries are kept fresh for a longer period of time. This is also done to make transport easier. Cooked fries are generally softer than frozen ones, so it will be easier to store and transport them this way. After all of those steps and processes, we now have come to one of the final steps in the food processing facility. This is the packaging. This is where the frozen fries are transferred to containers or packs with varying weights. Some even have specific flavors depending on demand. Finally, to make sure that the quality is kept to a maximum even when the product is traveling, its packaging will be sealed. This will also make sure that the French fries will not be contaminated and will still be delicious once they reach the market or your own table. Once this is done, they are ready to be transported to markets and restaurants. After all those steps, the French fries are now ready to be transported to the market. They are now displayed in grocery stores, in the stock rooms of restaurants, or probably in your own freezers. Who would have thought that a food we cook by simply frying it went through a lot before reaching our tables? Now, you have an idea of how even processes like cooking and farming are connected by innovations in technology. Your favorite crispy and golden brown French fries are a product of the agriculture and technology crossover. Without these innovative and modern machines, we will never be able to experience this delightful treat.
The sugarcane production starts with the production of seedlings. In this step, it's crucial that they choose the right variety so that they waste no resources trying to cultivate it. Through the help of newer technologies, farms are now able to produce sugarcane seedlings that are resistant to the main diseases, stable, and can fully adapt to its environment. They do this by obtaining national varieties and evaluating each of them thoroughly. This large laboratory and working site is where all the magic happens. The process does not immediately proceed to planting. Of course, the soil needs to be prepared first. Usually, sugarcane stays in the field for 2 to 3 years. Given that time frame, it's important that the soil is prepared every once in a while. To ensure high-quality products, the soil should be 50% soil particles, 45% mineral matter plus 5% organic matter, 25% air, and 25% water. Plus, 45 centimeters depth of the soil should be prepared well since 75% of the sugarcane root system is present at this soil layer. One of the processes involved in this step is tilling. In sugarcane production, tractors are frequently utilized for tillage operations, with moldboard or disc plows for initial plowing. Prior to additional tillage, the soil should weather for a week after plowing. Disc harrows, tine harrows, or rotavators are used in secondary tillage to cut, shred, and incorporate crop leftovers into the soil. Each field receives a different amount of tillage operations to ensure a good seedbed free of clods, weeds, and crop residues. Cutting the stem, preparing the ground, planting the cuttings in furrows, and covering them with soil are the steps involved in planting sugarcane. Planting methods include trench, flat, and furrow planting. Furrow planting is typical in moderate rainfall but has poor drainage, whereas flat planting is customary and needs appropriate moisture. Trench planting, however, has been shown to be efficient and effective. Sugarcane grows best in soil with a pH of 6 to 6.5, 32 degrees Celsius, sunlight, and ideal field conditions. Organic matter is also necessary for sugar production. So, in regions with cool winters, late summer and early fall are the optimum times. The planting season would not be complete without maintaining the sugarcane. Most farms do this through the help of spraying machines. One of the machines used is the Uniport 2030 sugarcane with a 2,000-liter tank capable of spraying up to 190 liters per minute. It can also reach heights up to 1.9 meters to make sure that each of the sugarcanes are covered. When planting canes, dried leaves can accumulate at its base. This is highly flammable, so it needs to be dealt with to avoid accidents. One of the ways farmers do this is through burning them intentionally. Farmers deliberately burn leaf waste to avoid having to transport it further and faster to processing facilities. Profits could also be impacted by other green harvesting techniques, such as field waste cleanup, which demand more resources. Although sugarcane burning is discontinued by many farms, some still do it given that they can provide the necessary skill and care needed. Whether the sun rises or not, when the sugarcane is mature enough, the harvesting needs to take place. This process is done with a combination of manual and mechanical methods. For muddy sugarcane fields, they opt for harvesters mounted on tracks because those on wheels have a higher risk of getting stuck in the muck. The purpose of these harvesters is to move through the sugarcane rows and cut it a few inches above the ground. Through the help of mechanical harvesters, it's now easier to harvest them. Just take a look at how this machine's rotating arms can simply strip off leaves and undergrowth on the canes. Once left with only the stalks, the machine proceeds to move them through the cutter so it can be chopped into smaller pieces. To prepare them for the next step, the trimmed canes will now be placed into large piles. This is where they get tied up and wait for the transportation process to begin. As a perennial grass, sugarcane doesn't require yearly replanting, and new shoots grow from chopped stalks for next harvests. This allows the farmers to harvest for 3 to 5 years. Once all are harvested and tied into batches, the cane will be transported to a nearby raw sugar mill. A vehicle with high capacity, like this one, is needed to transfer tons of sugar canes in just one go. This particular locomotive is used by Wilmar Sugar, Australia, and has a capacity of 26 tons, ensuring that a lot of sugarcane can be moved quickly. During the next month of June, a lot of sugar processing facilities start to crush their canes, and they are expected to do this until November. But if you think that crushing is the only process in producing sugar, you are wrong. It entails other specific procedures as well. It all starts with weighing the transported canes. They'll be checked for quality, and their weight will be assessed. After that, the canes are fed into a shredder to turn it into raw sugar crystals. Since it's a plant, the shredding process will also cause it to produce some juice the more it goes through shredders. This is alongside the fibrous material called the bagasse too. The facility just needs the juice, so the bagasse is meant to be disposed of. Even when it is considered a waste, it's still useful, so the facility reuses it as fuel for the boiler. Now going back to the juice, the next step will be about cleaning it. The juice needs to be pumped into a clarifier to get rid of its impurities. Since its impurities still contain a lot of nutrients, most facilities heat them and recycle them into sugarcane fertilizers. The cleared juice will now be processed into a vacuum pan where it will be boiled for some time. This process will allow the juice to turn into a more concentrated syrup. Once the prescribed consistency is reached, they examine a sample of it. This syrup is about 65 to 75% sugar. To get raw sugar, the syrup needs to go through a process called crystallization. The moment the crystals grow to about 1 millimeter in size, the syrupy mixture is discharged. To ensure the total separation of crystals and sugar, it goes into a centrifuge that spins at high speed. Before being sent to the bulk sugar bins at the mill for momentary storage, the raw sugar is tumble-dried. The dark syrup that is left over after sugar crystals have formed and been extracted from cleared cane juice is known as molasses, and it's a byproduct of the sugar-producing process. The raw sugar is now processed through drying and grading. After all of that, it's prepared for packaging. They can be transferred to small bags or even sacks. To soften the tough molasses coating, hot syrup is combined with freshly ground raw sugar from the mill. The syrup is then converted into a liquor after being centrifuged to remove 50% of the color. To clear the liquor of any remaining impurities, it is carbonated, phosphated, and activated carbon filtered. Evaporation pans are used to remove extra water, and UV light is used to sanitize it. The liquid is crystallized before being dried and going through one last centrifugation. Various sugar products are produced by the refinery too. The raw sugar is now delivered to a refinery where they process around 55 to 60 tons per hour.
As we immerse ourselves further into the intricate world of chocolate production, it becomes evident that this delectable treat is not merely a product of meticulous processing, but a reflection of the rich tapestry of human history. The story of chocolate intertwines with the ancient civilizations that revered it, the Mayans being the trailblazers who uncovered the secrets of the cacao tree. In their reverence for the cacao pod, they unwittingly became stewards of a legacy that would transcend time and geographic boundaries. The journey of chocolate is, in essence, a harmonious dance between nature's bounty and human ingenuity. From the equatorial embrace of cacao trees to the artisanal touch in chocolate factories, each step is a testament to the symbiotic relationship forged over millennia. The Mayans, guided by the serendipity of their geographic location, discovered the perfect conditions for cultivating cacao. These conditions, still replicated today in select equatorial regions, gift the world its primary source of cacao, perpetuating a tradition that echoes the reverence of ancient civilizations. The harvesting of cacao pods, a labor-intensive process, harks back to a time when every bean was cherished for its potential. The manual extraction of beans from the sticky pulp is a ritual that connects modern chocolate artisans to the meticulous practices of their predecessors. The intimate knowledge of the cacao tree's delicate nature and the recognition that the beans do not readily surrender themselves to the earth underscores the respect chocolate production pays to the essence of its origin. As the harvested beans undergo fermentation, enclosed within boxes adorned with banana leaves, a transformative alchemy takes place. This seemingly unassuming process is the crucible where flavors evolve from mere potential to a symphony of notes that define chocolate's distinct profile. It's a nod to the ancient wisdom that recognized the significance of fermentation, not just in purifying the beans, but in elevating them to their true potential. Sun-drying, the subsequent step in this age-old saga, is not merely a utilitarian act to remove moisture. It's a process that allows the cacao beans to absorb the essence of the sun and the equatorial climate, imbuing them with the very spirit of their origin. The journey of these beans, from the cacao-rich regions to global chocolate factories, echoes the resilience of a craft that has weathered centuries, connecting diverse cultures through a shared love for chocolate. Upon reaching the hallowed halls of chocolate factories, the beans undergo a scrutiny that transcends mere quality control. The meticulous inspection by quality assurance officers is a ritualistic affirmation of the commitment to excellence, ensuring that each bean carries forward the legacy of its origin. This moment of inspection is a bridge between tradition and modernity, where technological precision complements the intuitive knowledge passed down through generations. Roasting, the next stage in this symphonic process, is more than a utilitarian step to remove moisture. It's a sensory experience that transforms the beans into a palette of flavors. The dance of screens and cylinders, the controlled application of heat, and the release of myriad compounds within the cacao beans pay homage to the artistry inherent in chocolate making. It's a convergence of science and craft that defines the soul of the chocolate we savor. The winnowing process, within the enigmatic confines of the winnower, is akin to uncovering hidden gems within the earth. The separation of nibs from husks, accompanied by the gentle hum of machines, is a moment of revelation. These nibs, now liberated from their protective encasement, hold the promise of the chocolate they will become. A promise that is as much about honoring tradition as it is about embracing innovation. The grinding of these nibs into a dark brown paste, the chocolate liquor, is a sensory crescendo in the chocolate-making symphony. The transformation from solid nibs to a liquid essence is a metaphor for the fluidity of chocolate's evolution through time. This liquid, though resembling a thick syrup, is not just a precursor to the final product, but an embodiment of the very essence of chocolate. As we move into the subsequent stages of chocolate production, tempering, conching, and the addition of ingredients like powdered milk, sugar, or vanilla, the narrative expands into the intricate dance of flavors and textures. The melding of cocoa butter and chocolate liquor, the refinement of the chocolate's consistency, and the careful addition of complementary elements showcase the artistry that elevates chocolate from a mere commodity to a culinary masterpiece. Tempering, the process that imparts the chocolate its signature snap and glossy finish, is a meticulous endeavor that demands both patience and precision. It's a transformative moment when the chocolate undergoes a final metamorphosis, aligning its crystals in a harmonious composition that is as much a visual delight as it is a textural one. This step is emblematic of the perfectionist ethos that defines the chocolate-making craft. The pouring of the tempered chocolate into molds marks the culmination of this epic journey, a journey that traverses time, continents, and cultures. Each molded bar encapsulates not just the culmination of a complex production process, but the collective wisdom of those who have safeguarded the secrets of chocolate through generations. The final quality check, a meticulous examination for air bubbles and imperfections, is a final nod to the uncompromising commitment to excellence. These individually wrapped chocolate bars, though seemingly small, carry within them the weight of centuries of tradition, innovation, and craftsmanship. The annual production of 50 billion chocolate bars globally underscores the universal love affair with this divine creation. Each unwrapping is not just a moment of indulgence, it is a communion with a legacy that has endured, evolved, and enchanted through the ages. In conclusion, the journey of chocolate is a saga that transcends the boundaries of time and geography. It is a testament to the interconnectedness of human history and the resilience of a craft that has evolved without losing touch with its roots. From the equatorial groves where cacao trees sway to the rhythms of nature, to the bustling chocolate factories where modernity converges with tradition, every step in this journey is a celebration of the artistry, science, and cultural significance that define the world of chocolate.